Hello students! In this lesson today, you are going to learn the organization for public speaking. To be more specific, we are learning the organization for a good debate. Good organization means that you will present your ideas in a very suitable way that help the audience follow your arguments. And in these lessons, you will learn the components of a good speech, and you can describe how to organize and draft the speeches, which becomes clear and very easy to follow. For a good debate, you may need a lot of arguments. If the judges do not know where your ideas fit into the debate, they may not give you good scores, and you may not win the debate. Therefore, a good organization for a debate is particularly important. Now, first, let's start with the elements of a good debate. There are 5 points you need to remember. Number 1, the content is king. Number 2, the ability to ad-lib. Number 3, organization, which will be our main focus for today's lesson. Number 4, diction and pronunciation. And number 5, body language. There are plenty types of organization. However, the easiest and simplest way is the linear model of organization. Linear means to present something in a straight line. A linear way of organizing means you will present one idea after another so the audience can follow the line of ideas you are using to prove your arguments. This way, you can sound professional despite the limited amount of preparation time. And according to this type of organization, your debate can be organized into 6 sections as follows: the introduction, the thesis statement, the preview, the body, the summary, and the conclusion. Now, let's all start with the first part of the debate, the introduction. The purpose of the introduction is to get the attention of the audience. This helps everyone focus on your debate, and it will set the stage for the topic you will be discussing. For this, you need to get attention right at the beginning of your speech, because the members of the audience may still be talking to each other and not paying attention. You want them to stop talking and listen to you. You want to pique their interest, but you shouldn't begin with very important information yet, because they may not listen closely to you at this moment. The good introductions will give you confidence and help you win the acceptance of the audience. Therefore, the first part of the speech is where most speakers are quite nervous. So you need to know that you have prepared and practiced a good introduction. And this will help you establish credibility with the audience. Now, as we know the importance of the introduction, you may wonder how we can start, how we can grab the attention of the audience. In fact, there are 4 simple ways you can try. Number 1, you can tell stories. This type of introduction is the easiest and most effective since everyone loves to listen to a story. You can start by saying something like, there was something happened to me last week, and you begin to tell your story. Telling a story can draw the attention of the audience easily. But remember, you need to practice your story many times before the debate, so you don't have to read it. You need to tell it naturally. And you can remain the eye contact with the audience. Remember, the key points of this is how you deliver your story. Now, if you don't know how to tell a story, you can also impress the audience by stating some statistics which is the method number 2. Some important statistics which may support your case. For example, if you are talking about the environment in Ho Chi Minh City, you can begin with some very impressive figures about the pollution in Ho Chi Minh City. A powerful statistics can help the audience understand the importance of the subject you are talking about. You may also try with another method, which is a direct quote. You can begin the presentation with a quote from someone who is quite famous or who is quite popular in the field. Sometimes you can get a quotation or saying from a historical figure or a philosopher. You may even use literature, for example, a poem, to start your speech. Now, last but not least, if you have good sense of humor, you may consider telling a joke. Some people are very good at this. They tell a joke and make everyone laugh. But at the same time, it increases the audience interest. And everyone will love you. Everyone will start to have favor for you. And make sure the joke fits and you can tell it in the most appropriate way. An unfunny or bad joke may get the opposite effect, so be careful with this. Right, after you get the attention of the audience, now it's time to state the thesis statement. This is very important because a thesis statement tells the audience what your speech is about. Using only one sentence, you should let the audience know the topic and the purpose of your speech. In general, there are 3 purposes of a thesis statement. It can be used to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. For example, to inform, you may say, "Today, I'm here to inform you about." To persuade, for example, you can say, "Today, I'm here to tell you what we must do to take care of the problem of something." And to entertain, you may say clearly, "Today, we celebrate," etc. So, on the right-hand side, you can see some examples of thesis statements. After stating the one and only one sentence for thesis statement, next we come to the preview section, which is also very important. Once the audience knows the purpose of the speech, then they also need to know how your speech can meet that purpose. So you can give a preview of the main points in your debate and group all of the ideas into 3 to 5 main points so the audience can easily remember the content of the speech. You can even signpost your speech by providing the numbers for your main points. So signposting means you provide the order of the arguments you will present. For example, you can say, first, I will talk about the problem. Second, I will discuss the causes of the problem. Third, I will tell you about the solutions to take care of this problem. You may also have debates in group, right? So in a group, there may be more than just one person. So look at the table on the right column. There are some statements that you may consider if you have debate in group. For example, we, as today's proposition, have structured our case as follows. I, as the first speaker, will be talking about. Then you introduce your partners. Our second speaker, and you give the name, will elaborate on the fact that. And our third speaker, again you give the name, will do the rebuttal. Now, here comes the most important part in a debate, which is the body. This is what the audience comes to listen to, and it is where the debater provide all the arguments they have to prove the thesis statement. The body should be 90% of the total speech. So, when you organize your ideas, you should use a pattern that enables the audience to easily follow the progress of your argument. You should use an easy-to-follow pattern of organization. There are many types you can consider. For example, time. You can explain how things happen in chronologically. For example, if you want to demonstrate the process of doing something, you would show the steps, first step, second step, next step, last step, for example. Or you can consider the space type, like you organize your main points based on how things are located in physical space or geography. For example, you may consider analyzing the characteristics of students in your classroom by dividing the class in half and first describing the half on your right and then the half on your left. Another type is topics. You may consider choosing the organization by topic because every major topic has subtopics associated with it. For example, if you are giving a speech on an apple, you may divide the speech into subtopics such as taste, color, and cost. One more type you can consider is the problem cause solution. This will be perfect if your debate is about problem and solution. For example, you are talking about pollution issue in Ho Chi Minh City. You may start with the problem first, what caused that, and how you're gonna solve the problem. Of course, there are many ways to organize the organization. You can be very creative, but you have to be consistent with the type you choose. Then you need to support your arguments with good reasons and evidence. Next, you need to learn how to rebut your opponent's arguments. You will have plenty of lessons upcoming to learn about how to rebut. And last but not least, you need to prepare to brainstorm and select the best organization. Once the body is finished, it is the time for you to do the summary and conclusion. The summary also plays an important role because it will summarize the main points of the speech for the audience. Remind the audience of your thesis statement in the preview, but be sure this time you use the past tense rather than the future tense. So, for example, you say, today we have learned about, and you repeat your topic. First, I spoke about this, then I spoke about that. Repeating the main points will help the audience to remember them. And using the linear organization, you have presented the points in the preview, elaborated them in the body, and restated them in a summary. So remember, it is like this. I tell them what I'm going to tell them. Then I tell them. And finally, I tell them what I told them. Then comes to the conclusion. At the end of the speech, let the audience know your speech is over. Conclude your remarks with confidence. You may need to take questions or be seated. So, to sum up, organization is central to good debating and public speaking. Good organization will give you more confidence. Therefore, plenty of time needs to be spent on preparing for the organization. Now here, look at one example. So, in this sample, you can see that we prepare it in a linear organization. In the introduction, the debaters may tell a story of the movie Waterworld, in which Kevin Costner stars as the hero who must live in a world after the polar ice caps have melted and Earth is almost completely covered with water. Although the movie is science fiction, it paints a picture of what could happen if we don't do something about global warming. You see how they links from the story to the topic? And from this, they comes to a very strong thesis statement. Today, I urge you to help stop global warming. You see, just one sentence only. Then, the preview will tell the audience what the speech will be about, how you're going to organize that. First, I will describe the increasing problems we can expect from rising temperatures. Second, I will explore the many causes for this threat. Finally, I will examine what we can do to slow down the damage to our world. Remember, you tell them what you are going to tell them. Now, the body is the part where you tell them. Okay, the main content. All the main content is here. 90% of the talk is here. You see, you need good arguments and also good evidence to support the arguments. After the body, it's time for the summary where you tell them what you have told them. You sum up the main points and comes to the conclusion to let everyone know that your debate is coming to the end. Once again, the important concepts that you need to remember in this lesson is that we need to have very good organization. And using the linear model helps you organize your thoughts quickly and thoroughly. This is the easiest and simplest way for students to use in a debate. The linear model involves an introduction, a thesis statement, a preview, a body, a summary, and a conclusion. In the introduction, there are many methods, but you may consider telling a story, stating some statistics, direct quotes, or telling a joke if you have good sense of humor to get the interest and the attention of the audience. The thesis statements will tell the audience what you will speak about and your purpose, whether to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. Remember, you only use one sentence for the thesis statement. Next, the preview. This is the part where you tell them what you're going to tell them, the organization, okay, the sections, the main focus. Then the body, the biggest part of the speech, 90% of the speech. It contains all the arguments that support your thesis, and you also need to provide suitable evidence. After that, there's the summary, the part where you tell them what you have told them, to remind the audience of the order and components of the speech up to this point. And you are going to wrap up the speech. And last but not least, the conclusion that signals the end of the speech. You tell the audience that this debate is coming to an end.